Okay, Margarita, yeah, this is what we're after right here. You got it. You got it. Okay, so this is excellent. Good job and good job describing. Right now, it looks like you got one, two, three, four, five, and well, we got one, two, three, four, six. Got 10 graphics, so that's good. Now, I just want to comment. I think the graphics are excellent. Good job. Really nice job. The illustrations are fantastic. This is a little bit of an anomaly because right now it looks like there's a little bit of a gradient in there, and I'm going to do a system zoom. You won't see this on camera. Yeah, there's some kind of little gradient. Actually, you won't see that pointer right in there. Some sort of little gradient there. There's no gradients used anyway. This is otherwise flat design. So I would recommend, remove that anomaly and keep consistent all the way through. Um, Really good job with your graphics, and I think that thank you so much for including this. I do have a couple of recommendations here. So, and I had talked about the color palette, right? Because I wasn't really sure about the monochromatic color palette. But now we look at this, and I think it's interesting, good color experimentation here. But right now, this example I think is just really lacking in contrast. We can see it right here. Okay, so take a look at this. Take a look at the contrasting value of this infographic right here, and then compare it to this. See that? Look how much more contrast that has. Contrast is a good thing. It's one of your. It should be one of the four things on your checklist. It's CRAP for your immediate checklist. It's known as the CRAP principle or CARP principle. It's contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. So think about contrast as it relates to. We're a little bit lacking in contrast all the way through here. The red helps, but I'm still saying let's still experiment um, with your color choices. One thing I would recommend here, okay, so you've got these circles, right? And I'm not real sure what the circles indicate, but if you're using the circles as a design element, that's great. My recommendation here is to um, you've got the circles and you've got your left aligned type centered in the circle, and that's fantastic, right? That's great. But these circles that are kind of on the border, the type is being forced to be pushed over, and this is a really peculiar situation right here. We see it again right up here where it's just kind of cut off there just to accommodate the fact that the circle is bleeding off the page. So I don't recommend that. I would recommend trying some sort of an alternative presentation there. Over here, you've got this kind of with going to pink in the background, but as it goes to pink, like right now in this graphic, I would use pink as the background for 40% female, right? We got blue for male, pink for female. It's just adding further colors, just adding further meaning to the graphic. But that won't work now because first you've got halfway pink and then partially blue. So it doesn't indicate color as a statistical indicator. So I would recommend that. Now let's talk about typeface. I would recommend a sans serif typeface instead of a serif typeface. The sans serif is going to point a little bit more to a contemporary. Now vaping is a very contemporary. Um, uh, what are we going to call the activity? So it's usually we use a serif typeface to kind of point to some sort of tradition. So vaping is too new to have any sort of tradition associated with it. So I would say use a sans serif typeface in your body copy as well. And the headlines are good. They're fine in that kind of script. That's cool. But I would use a sans serif. Okay. Interesting stuff here. Again, we have that kind of weird anomaly there with that beaker. Okay, so other than that, I think you're doing fantastic. Think about your color. Keep working with your color studies, and keep working with your contrast, especially your contrast. Okay, this right here, the values of this illustration on the background are we can't really even tell what it is because of just a lack of contrast. Whereas we can certainly see what that is. And it's a vape device, right? Because it's got great contrast. Okay, wouldn't mind seeing a few more infographics in here. Um, boy, I think it would be great instead of these bubbles right here. Can we depict these visually? 15% of patients are 18 years or older, 21. I know you can do it. I mean, based on the success of your dear data, you can do this. So I would recommend more graphics, and that would alleviate this problem of the. Well, actually, it wouldn't because you still have those circles bleeding off the page. I would recommend not bleeding a circle that has information in it, especially if you replace this text with graphics. And I highly recommend you do so. So you could show 15% of patients 18 years old, 21 patients are 18 to 21 years old. Actually, I think you actually show that up here. Most patients report a history of THC consuming products, latest. Yeah, let's try to visualize those. This again, contrast right here. I know you've got red on blue, which indicates high contrast, but there's just the size of this. We can't see it. So I would recommend something a little bit bigger in that area right there, because this is a really a good graphic right here. Okay. Other than that, I think, Matt, you're doing good stuff. Okay. Any questions at all? Please let me know. Thank you very much for your timely resubmission here, Margarita. And please let me know if you have any questions at all. But you're doing wonderful work. Thank you very much.